Thank you, Tete Kerry. Thank you, Exodus. Uh, Thank you, Gary, for joining in. Here again, my name is Funton. Thank you, Emon, for joining in. Here again, my name is Funton Daniel. I will be speaking live here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States, about the horrific images that is coming from the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. Stay tuned. Thank you, Bob, for joining in. It's gonna be amazing. They're gonna talk about the massacre in Southern Cameroon by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. I will also be talking about October 1st, which is the Independence Day of the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. Then the target killing that is carried out by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. And Joseph Betty Asomo. You all know whom that criminal is. Then I will be talking about the Sacred Heart College and more. And stay tuned. Here again, my name is Funton Daniel. I will be speaking live here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. If you just join me, please just share and briefly indicate where you are. Usually, I just want to know who are my audience. And so, if you happen to be here in the United States, just briefly indicate below. If you are in La Republique, just indicate below. If you are in Ground Zero, and that is the most painful place that the people are going through agony by the invasion of a foreign country, La Republique du Cameroon. And I will be speaking about that and more. Here again, you can get me live on my Facebook and on my YouTube. So either way, when you having difficulty to get me live, you should be able to get me live on YouTube as well. And here again, my name is Funton Daniel. I will be speaking live here from the great state of Texas. If you are in Russia, if you are in South America, if you are in Asia, wherever you are, I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are tuning in this morning. This morning here in the United States, it might be different time at your own locations. And I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Eleni, for joining in. Thank you, Town Chrysler, for joining in. Thank you, Ahmad, for joining in. All right, I just want to take a moment to thank you. How was your day? I know it's a horrible day in the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. And I just want to take a moment to thank all of you that are tuning in. You know, fellow Ambazonian, fellow brothers and sisters, you all know that October 1 will mark the day of celebration. It's an important day. It's the day that when the United Nations voted in 1961, it was initially agreed that the effective day is October 1. And so October 1 is a very important day to the people of Ambazonia. It's the day that the people of Southern Cameroon recognize their sovereignty. And so it's the day of celebrations. So wherever you are, I want to show you that you must celebrate this day with dignity. And we here in the Dallas community, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Denton community here in the great state of Texas will also be celebrating as well. So if you haven't been aware, so please join us at the barbecue ceremony here in the Dallas, Fort Worth community. I will be posting the detailed information where the celebration shall be taking place on my Facebook. So if you doesn't have anything, join us there for this massive celebration marking the independence of the Federal Republic of Ambazonian, October 1st, which will be here in the Dallas, Denton, Fort Worth community. So I want to take a moment to thank all of you. And if you are in Ground Zero, make sure you celebrate it with grand style and dignity. But we must let La Republique know that La Republique, and there's serious warning to those La Republique. We are a sovereign nation, and we are at war. We are a sovereign nation. We are at war by an invading nation, La Republique du Cameroon. And so those Southern Cameroons that are romancing with La Republique, please take this matter as an urgency. That this time we will not be romancing with any individuals that ignore this warning. We will not be romancing with those individuals. This is a Southern Cameroon, this is a nation, and we use every avenue to secure and maintain its sovereignty. And so any individual of the Southern Cameroon origin that is attempting to romancing with regime will meet an unfriendly manifestations. And so CPDM is totally banned in the Southern Cameroon territory. And so those who are mingling with La Republique, please take this as a matter of seriousness. We will not tolerate or allow any romancing by La Republique in the Southern Cameroon territory. And so those who choose to do so, to ignore the warning, will meet an unfriendly manifestation consequences. And here again, I also repeat, those parliamentarians or whatever the so-called the Senate, remember, you are not representing the state of the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. You are on your own. And those individuals claim that they claim they are parliamentarian. You are La Republique parliamentarian and not the people of Southern Cameroon. And so any attempt to ignore the warning, then you will meet an unfriendly environment, an unfriendly manifestation. So take this as a matter of seriousness, because we are letting you know ahead of time. So whenever the consequences, you will be the person to face it. And so take this as a matter of urgency, that we have asked you to withdraw your candidacy in La Republique. We are serious about it, and you take it as a matter of urgency. To those who claim to be parliamentarian or whatever the so-called, please take this as a matter of urgency. That we will not in any circumstances romancing with those individuals. Southern Cameroon territory is now a sovereign nation, and we don't have any common dealing with La Republique or any relationship with La Republique du Cameroon. And so it is up to you to take the warning and accept it. And last time again, I spoke about the Congress Hall, which is built by La Republique. And so therefore, it's not a property of Southern Cameroon. And so therefore, we don't need to have it. We need to eliminate anything that represents the effigy of La Republique in the Southern Cameroon territory. We need to eliminate any effigy that stands like representing La Republique in the Southern Cameroon territory. Whatever it is, and fellow brothers and sisters, we have come to a long way, that we have come to a conclusion that we cannot live together with La Republique, and that we must live as an independent nation. We have ample of the past 56 years indicate a minimum in which we can accept and allow to live together. But unfortunately, La Republique is not, and is not a people that we can live together. And so this is the conclusion that we have all agreed upon. Although there are certain individuals within our midst that still hasn't changed. And so we are led them ahead of time that this is the Federal Republic of Ambazonian, the sovereign nations. And so they should accept and heal to the warning, or they accept to ignore it. But first of all, for those who remember the Sacred Heart College, I know because I wasn't one of the students, happened to one of those individuals. You all admire the admirations of the students. And when you have the Sacred Heart College, and you also think about the Our Lady of Lourdes College as well. But today we simply said there is no school in Federal Republic of Ambazonian until we design our own curriculum. And so any organized by La Republique invading in Southern Cameroon, I'm going to be showing you images that is coming out from the Sacred Heart College that is very appalling and disturbing to any individuals that have or thought of sending their children in the Sacred Heart College. And that is carried out by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. The images may not be what you want to see, and your children may not be what you expect them. But today, this is what is going on in the Sacred Heart College. One stop being and a symbol. This is not the school that we endorse. This is not the category that we, the Federal Republic of Ambazonian, endorse. So you're going to be seeing these images. You can hear the music at the background. And guess who is standing? La Republique military. And when you look at it, you see La Republique military promoting this behavior on your children at the Sacred Heart College. This is absolutely disgusting that you can see these images and this going on in the Sacred Heart College. Look, that's the Sacred Heart College. That's your children, and that you send them, and that is under La Republique, the terrorist government of La Republique du Cameroon. You can see exactly what I am talking about. That is the Sacred Heart College. That is the school that you all think about. That is La Republique military, and that is the behavior that you think is going on in the Sacred Heart College by La Republique du Cameroon. We have asked those individuals, including the administrator, the governor, we have asked the governor of La Republique to leave the Southern Cameroon territory because it's not going to be a friendly environment towards them. And those senior, whatever they call the senior divisional officer or whoever they call them, this is not going to be a period of romancing. This is going to be a challenging, difficult time. And we're going to let you understand that the people of Ambazonia is ready to defend and foster their sovereignty. So whether you take it serious or you don't. So, but as a matter of factual, we are going to deal with those individuals. We have asked you once more, leave the Southern Cameroon territory and retire back to La Republique. Southern Cameroon has witnessed an unrelenting massacre that is going on in the Southern Cameroon territory. And it's being orchestrated by Joseph Betty Assomo. Joseph Betty Assomo is the defense minister of the neighboring country, La Republique of Cameroon, that has assigned his military that are carrying on massacre. And the next pictures that I'm going to be showing you, I am going to be showing you the massacre that is currently going on in the Southern Cameroon territory. And it's being carried out by Joseph Betty Assomo, who is the current La Republique Minister of Defense. Remember, the people of Southern Cameroon was never a colonial territory of La Republique. The people of Southern Cameroon was a sovereign nation. They had enjoyed their sovereign nations. They live with Nigeria. And when the Southern Cameroon territory left Nigeria House of Assembly, there were never military invasion from Nigeria to the people of Southern Cameroon. It was benevolent, what they call a benevolent neutrality. In the House of Assembly, in Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria, the people of Southern Cameroon, the elected officials, declared a benevolent neutrality. And they totally left and blocked and leave Nigeria. Nigerian government did not declare war. Neither did the British administrator declare war on the people of Southern Cameroon. So La Republique is not the first people whom we have chosen to live together. We were living together with Nigeria. And we lived with Nigeria for a certain length of time. Because the British administrator at the time was living in Enugu and believed that it was more convenient to embody those two territories, two nations together. And so when we left Nigeria, after a series of our elections, which we elect Prime Minister, first Dr. Endele, subsequent Jongu Foncha, Ngumjua, we had our administrative authority. We all meet regularly in the new Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria. When we left the Enugu House of Assembly, Nigeria authority did not declare war on our people. We left unanimously and they will respect the wishes of our people. Today we have our people are being slaughtered and murdered and indiscriminately by someone we invited to our home. We invited La Republique. La Republique was never a colonial territory of the Southern Cameroon. Our people deserve their own freedom. They deserve to decide what is their future destiny. And they can ask this at will. And they can instruct La Republique. And it is not an obligation for La Republique because they have their advantage. Because they initially knew that they were going to destabilize the people of Ambazonian. While we were more of a loving people, we choose not to arm ourselves. We ignore the ammunitions. We love them. We choose them as our brothers and sisters. But unfortunately, we have come to the conclusion that La Republique knew that we are their slave. But unfortunately, we have come to the moment that we will let La Republique understand that we were not a slavery. We were not colonized by La Republique. We were a sovereign nation. We have a democratic form of government. We have an administrative form of government. And our people were elected. Our people love that ample love of government. But unfortunately, La Republique misconstrued and took us for a colonial territory. And that is why our brothers and sisters are currently slaughtered by indiscriminately. We will expect the world body that we hope that they were going to be discussing here in the United Nations. But because United Nations is more of a bribery scandal, United Nations is more of the corrupted system that one can imagine. One will expect the world body to be more legitimate and look upon the issues that is affecting the world. But unfortunately, they are more concerned with their own personal egoistic mind. When the British joined the European Union, it was an effective gentleman relationship. When the British joined the European Parliament, it was a gentleman relationship. And when the British chose to left the European Parliament, it was not, the European Parliament never declared war on the people of Great Britain. But today, our people are being slaughtered despite the fact that we are two separate nations. We are not a colonial territory as many people perceive. La Republique tendered their document at the United Nations in 1960, and the people of Southern Cameroon was not part of that document. It was stated La Republique du Cameroun by the French authority that tabled that document at the United Nations, indicating that the La Republique was ready for independence. And the people of Southern Cameroon, now the Ambazonian, was not part of that document. And today we witness a massive killing of our people by a terrorist government that we invited in our home. And it is important that we understand these measures and that we take any drastic measures against any individuals that attempt to ignore this factual. Remember, those individuals that they are in La Republique, they do not represent the people of Ambazonia. They do not represent the aspiration of the people of Federal Republic of Cameroon, Southern Cameroon. They are not the aspiration of the people. They are simply an idiot that are languishing in La Republique. And so therefore, I am bringing this attention to the world community. That as you sit and remain silent, the U.S. diplomat or the U.S. ambassador has raised an alarm. One will expect the world community to yield to this. It's not just the British diplomat. Other media has raised this concern. But one will expect the United Nations that knew that Article 1608 of the United Nations Charter that was voted in 1961 would have been something of debate that should have been tabled at the United Nations. But unfortunately, it wasn't. And today, this is what is happening in the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. First, we will start by the U.S. diplomat. That was the United States ambassador. U.S. ambassador reported about the target killing. U.S. ambassador, he's still the ambassador. He reported about the target killing that is carried out by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. And one will expect the world community to rally and discuss about this matter as a matter of urgency. But unfortunately, France is the architect that blocked every aspect of this deliberation to occur in any of the world body. Of course, I spoke about the current crisis, but one will expect them to take a precaution and that speak about these issues, because it's not just us raising the alarm bell. The United Nations diplomat in the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon, that's the U.S. current ambassador that speak about the current brutality that is carried on by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon, in the Anglophone Southern, in the Southern Cameroon territory. Remember, our people are legitimate. We are not, when people call fighting against La Republique is a two separate entity. First, Paul Biya in 1984 issued a decree abolishing the people of Southern Cameroon without the prior consent of the people of Southern Cameroon. That is an abomination. Paul Biya in 1984 signed a decree, abolished a whole nation. That is absolutely an abomination. And the world body just remains silent. He has no legitimacy. He has no consent that was authorized by the people of Southern Cameroon. Allow him to use his personal decree and eliminate the people of Ambazonia. And so that is why we, the people of Ambazonia, are rising and let's say, no, we are not a colonial territory. We are not a dissolved nation from La Republique. We are a people. We are a citizen, and we deserve our sovereignty. We, as La Republique, we will not in any circumstances succumb to La Republique, destroy our people, our way of life.
Every life, the way all prominent activists do for this struggle.
as you can see, what is...
As I'm speaking live, here is a bomb. That's a bomb that was used by La Republique in Southern Cameroon territory within a few days ago. And I'm going to show these images. It was a live bomb that was a rocket prepared launcher that was sent by La Republique. This is a rocket prepared grenade that was launched by La Republique. This is Southern Cameroon. This is what crisis that is going on in Southern Cameroon territory.
The launcher 4 was being used today at Ikuna. So this to show the way that the Republic Army is using rocket launcher now and is using bombs in Ambazonian. The one was being used in the corner today. 4 of them were being launched in the corner today. So the international world should see how Southern Cameroonians have been killed by the Republic of Cameroon. So you can see for yourself, the international community should see. This is the remain of the rocket that was being used today in the corner. 3 of them was used to bomb the civilians. You can see for yourself that Southern Cameroon have been crying to the international community for them to see what is being used by French Cameroon, the forces of Mr. Biya, to kill Southern Cameroonians. So as you can see for yourself, you can see the number of the missiles that are being used today to destroy Southern Cameroonians. That's the number you can see for yourself. How they are being used, this number, they are being used to kill Southern Cameroonians. So now we are in a serious warfare. We're in a total war now. This is to show the international community, to show the Commonwealth, United Nations, and all the human rights groups to see how Southern Cameroonians have been killed by rocket bombs. You can see for yourself. You can see for yourself. All the defense units should see.
So that is the rocket prepared grenade that was used by La Republique in Southern Cameroon territory. It is very, very regretful that we expect the world community to speak about these issues or this aggression. Our people deserve their independence. We were never a colonial territory. I wanted to repeat, we were never a colonial territory of the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. Remember, the United Nations in 1960 granted the sovereignty of La Republique du Cameroon, and the people of the Anglophone speaking, the Southern Cameroon, was not part of that document that La Republique tabled under the French administrator tabled at the United Nations. Southern Cameroon was not part of that document, and so therefore, when the people of Southern Cameroon was tabled at the United Nations, or West Cameroon was tabled at the United Nations, by the British administrator, La Republique was not part. The fact we choose to cohabiting doesn't give legitimacy of La Republique to persuade and murdering our people. Our people are being murdered and indiscriminately, are being slaughtered indiscriminately by a government that has no legitimacy over our people. We have spoken, about this issue of atrocity. The fact is because Britain and France, because you can imagine that the British government or the British Trade or Commerce Secretary is busy signing a contract in aligning that you're going to reward 1.5 billion US dollar to the neighboring country instead of the people that they mineral are in their territory. Our people basically have absolutely no food on the table. They are basically living in the forest. About 800,000 people are totally displaced in the forest. At least constantly murdering, slaughtering, shooting indiscriminately by a terrorist government of La Republique. We are aware of the images when I broadcast live here. It didn't matter because many people just ignore it. But today the world body are now coming to accept reality. When the murdering and burning of homes and in everywhere in allowance the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. So I am here let the world understand that the people of Southern Cameroon, the Federal Republic of Ambazonian, is now a sovereign nation. We will use every available means to secure, protect, and enforce our identity. For those who have their parents, still having a dinner with La Republique, we have asked to let them understand that we have mean a business. Let your parents that is still eating on the same plate with La Republique, that we have moved forward. You can choose to do so, or you can choose to ignore. But our people are effectively and ensure that our sovereignty is protected and maintained, and we shall sustain it. And that is why we have dished this out. So whether you choose to let them know that they were not informed. So this message is letting you understand that your parents that is still having a dinner with La Republique, they are the prime problems of the people of Ambazonia. And we will deal with those individuals squarely. So take note and inform your parents. They should leave La Republique immediately. Or they choose to be sacrificed. Or they choose to relocate to La Republique. Otherwise, we will consider them as enemy to a state. Because we will not in any circumstances be romancing with those individuals. We have had enough, and we have had enough for the past 56 years. And that is why we stand firmly with our policy, we ensure that effectively we will go and persuade every angle. And so any effigy of La Republique that was constructed in Southern Cameroon should be immediately terminated, especially like the Congress Hall, that you have a stupid individual called the Prime Minister. That is absolutely an idiot. Because he thinks he represents the people of Southern Cameroon. Absolutely nobody in Southern Cameroon that is currently working with La Republique represents the people of Ambazonia. We are a nation. We are one people. We are a sovereign nation. We are ready. We are prepared. We will sacrifice all we take to ensure that our dignity and respect of our sovereignty is maintained. So you are warned, the images that I'm going to be showing you is terrifying. So I am letting you be aware that the people of Southern Cameroon, when the people of Southern Cameroon led the Enugu House of Assembly, it was a simple gentleman relationship. It was a simple friendly encounter. Our people were respected. Our people were honored. And the British administrator requested our wishes. And it was never a fighting. Remember, we are the only first in West Africa that have enjoyed a meaningful democratic form of government with a true and elected officials. And we dignified these when we elected Endele. We elected Jongu Foncha. We elected Ngumjua. La Republique has no record to indicate that they have officially elected individuals within La Republique. They have not. La Republique has not. La Republique has two brutal dictatorship from Amadou Ahidjo from 25 years to the current brutal dictatorship for 36 years. And so the entire 56 years that we have been with this terrorist neighbor, it has been a disgusting nightmare living with La Republique together. And that is why I am letting every people of Ambazonia that we must move forward as one people together. We will never return. We will never regret why we choose La Republique, because it's the worst nightmare that we have all experienced dealing with this La Republique du Cameroon. So if you haven't acknowledged it, but I already acknowledged that it was a nightmare dealing with this La Republique. And so I will never in any circumstances regret why I choose these options. And I don't know about you because I am already moving forward. So if you watch these images, this happened within 2 to 3 days, within today and the next 3 days. That's what is going on in the Southern Cameroon. There is what the U.S. ambassador called target killing. And most specifically, our able men, boys. And the picture and the images that I'm going to be showing you are very disturbing. And that is what is happening on the street of the Southern Cameroon territory by the terrorist La Republique du Cameroon, constantly murdering our people indiscriminately. And so here goes the images. You all see. You all see. Yeah, of course. This is what is happening. This is live images that is happening. That is currently carried out by terrorist La Republique du Cameroon government. Target killing. And those are young able boys in the Southern Cameroon territory, the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. And this is constantly. This is a fresh image. As you can see, the fresh blood still on the uniform or still on his personal dresses, showing that it's still a fresh wound. The blood is still very fresh. You see, this is one. It's just been shot in front of the door. And you can see that the children are just watching. So the images that you will be seeing are very disturbing. And this is what is going on, live images going on in the Southern Cameroon territory, the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. And the person, the architect of this Busha murdering is Joseph Betty Asomo, the current defense minister in the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. As you see. As you see. Those are able young boys that are being brutally murdered indiscriminately by this act of aggression in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. This is not something that I'm sure is exactly what has been carried out within specific two days time frame, and it's constant. As you can see, those images. As you can see, it's just proceeding. This is Southern Cameroon or that are currently living in La Republique, and they are being targeted, especially Biemasi and Obili. So for those Southern Cameroon that are living in Biemasi and Obili, in the terrorist capital of Yaoundé, especially those neighborhoods that are more of an Anglophone or the Southern Cameroon or Ambazonia that are living in Biemasi, they are being ransacked, and immediately, as you can see, this is what is happening. This is constant harassment, targeting, killing, and it is absolutely disgusting, as you can see, and their location. As you can see, those are constant images of killing that is going on live. This is still going on in Biemasi by the military. You all saw the note that was published by Joseph Betty Asomo, who signed it, indicating that there is a planned invasion in the neighboring country. First of all, why should La Republique in the Southern Cameroon, for Christ's sake? Why should La Republique in the Southern Cameroon, for Christ's sake? The people have their wishes. They have a choice to decide whether they need La Republique in Southern Cameroon. It is a wish of the sons and daughters, and La Republique has an obligation to accept and acknowledge and not to be part of this. But unfortunately, we can speak, but we must do an action. And that is why I am asking, if you are an Ambazonian, if you are a Southern Cameroon, please join the momentum, because we will not in any circumstances be romancing with those who ignore. As you can see, this is, you can see the images. You can see family and the loved ones. As you can see, those are the streets of the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. Those are the streets that have been carried out by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. As you can see, those are what is going on in the Federal Republic of Ambazonian territory. Fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war. We are at war, and so we assure you that we must stand and protect and eliminate La Republique out of the Southern Cameroon once and for all. Our people deserve their sovereignty. Our people deserve to be governed by their own people, and not by a foreign government that has no responsibility and on behalf of the people of Ambazonia. So we are here at war. And so tomorrow on the October 1st, we will be celebrating the Federal Republic of Ambazonian sovereignty in a grand style here in the Dallas Forward community. So if you have time, so stop by and join us. So let's celebrate with a grand style. Our people has endured the pain for the past 56 years. We have been living like in a different community. We've been living first with Nigeria. We live with La Republique. But how about we live by ourselves and then build our own community that will be more effectively dynamic and functions to the best of our ability? I think we can do it. I think we are able. And so it's time now that we move forward and fortify our sovereignty to the best of our ability. I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to thank all of you that are tuned in this morning, and I wish you the best of the day. That Federal Republic, I will be proud to be an Ambazonian than to be a terrorist government, be a citizen of a terrorist government of the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. I wish you all a happy and a wonderful day. It was Funton Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States.